All right, kids, we're back. 41 Ford truck. There I am. I'm cute. How you doing? So here's where we are. Front suspension in, pocketed for the bags, all that fun stuff like this. Motor mounts are going in. Problem. Solution. Metal. Grinder, welder, stuff. We'll make something. But that's where she's gonna live. Tranny mounts made, front ends in, all that fun stuff's there. Gotta figure out shock mounts. Different master cylinder. My steering knuckles are in. Column comes in tomorrow. What is this motor? We don't know. But this question was asked. What are those? I'll tell you. When you buy a crate motor, an engine that's been rebuilt by a reputable company, they're going to put those little temperature dots on there. If this thing overheats, the center of that dot will either melt out or pop out or some combination of whatever. It's altered, so they know that the engine's been overheated in case of a warranty, because no one would ever, it was a bucket by the way, and my tofu burrito. No one would ever send an engine back that was overheated and try and claim warranty on that and say it was the guy who manufactured it or rebuilt its fault, would they? No, never. All the time. It happens all the time. So they got to protect their investment because they're putting money into this. What's in this motor? I have no idea. It was bought out of a crate along with the C4 and everything all together into a crate. It's never had fuel through it. I don't know anything about it. It could be really rowdy. Is it as rowdy as this Ford truck? I don't know. Let's go look. Here's the thing. T-Bird 57. May or may not be a project for me later. I don't know. This big block. So this thing sits for days and days and days. Never runs. And it's a turn the key on, bring fuel to it, 1 or 2 pumps, fires up, and it fires up and idles perfectly. I know we don't live in 40 below zero. It is like 75 or 80 down here all the time, but nope, I'm falling over. Tripped over this engine crane and a seat. Like my OSHA approved slippers. Anyway, hot rods are supposed to be reliable and easy to drive. That's just the way it is. If they're not, there's no point in having them. I just don't understand how people could have a hot rod and have it be a pain to cruise around in. This thing fires up, lives in the garage there, fires up over here, and is there every time I come over. Oh look, there's my 57. Anyway, back inside the garage, look at the 41. What kind of goodies do we get? Stainless 3/4 double D, yep. 36 spline, a 3/4, 3/4, and a 3/4 to 1 inch. That does not go, that's a blower. Bottom of the bag is cowl panel for not this car. Engine analyzer has nothing to do with this. Bolts and parts for the motor mount kit. Yeah, I don't know. Mini starter for sure is going to go in this. Ball and socket for the exhaust because this is a 3-inch ball. We're going to run 2.5-inch pipes. No, I don't know what converter's in this thing at all. I have no idea. It's getting a serpentine front runner set up with a short water pump because we're going to run electric fan. This Griffin radiator was made by Griffin. Took them 6 weeks, special order. I want to say it was about $1,100. Fans, everything all set up for that 51 out front there. And the radiator that's in that 51 is going to go in here because that radiator will keep that blower motor cool. It works. It just fine. It works perfectly. That radiator, after I got the cooling system and everything set up and it tuned and running right, that thing will run all day long at like 185. It does just fine. Which means it'll keep this thing nice and cold. That will get up to like maybe 190, 195 under a full load, but the temp sensor's in the head on that other motor. So just like my car, head temp, you're reading head temp right over the top of the exhaust port. So or right over the combustion chambers. That's going to be the hottest part versus up here in front of the intake manifold. This is hot water coming out into the radiator, right? So if your temp sensor's here and this pulls in cold water here, as soon as it pulls cold water in, it'll come. Some of it will come up and come back out and circulate the way the water moves through the head or whatever, and through the block. But back here in the hottest part of the block, where there's no crossover or nothing like that, if you've got a temp sensor right here or up here in the top of the back of the manifold, like I do on my car, easy, you're going to get the hottest part of the block as far as water temp goes, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're reading head temperature versus coolant temperature. And under load, you're making more heat in the combustion chamber, so that temperature could be, 20 degrees hotter than what's actually coming out of the radiator and coming back in, because it's right over the chamber. I mean, how hot's the exhaust when you're under load? How hot's the spark plug get? How hot's the chamber get? So if your exhaust is like 500 or 600 degrees under load, hot enough where this can glow, and your coolant's only like 200, pretty efficient cooling system, I would think. So point being, this is going in that truck to help keep that 51 colder. That radiator that keeps that blown big block, it's mild. So I think it's 12% underdriven now. Will keep this thing easily cold. Although, what if this is really rowdy? What if this is a 500 horse crate 347? Possible. I have no idea. I don't even know what heads those are. They don't have any markings on them. I don't know. But here's what I got going on. Mounts today. The tranny mount's already in. You can see the tranny cross member. Custom tranny cross member. Pulled through the frame. We built one earlier. This top one was like a low profile cross member, but the frame's not boxed all the way back here, so the C channel, the bottom flange of the C channel would move instead of a whole C channel carrying the weight. This cross member here is made out of 1.5 inch by 2 1/8 inch. Is this 1/8 inch or 3/16? 1/8 inch, and that's what that cross member is made. But it's a full tubular one, and it's on a flange that bolts to the side and everything else. That won't interfere with the running boards. It's on its own. Never mind. It's much more stouter, better. That's it. That's it, kids. That's what I'm doing today. It is Thursday today, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Aloha. Gosh, that's